Okay. All right. So we'll just quickly kind of run through this, and so everybody kind of has an idea of what was talked about this morning on the main call, and hopefully we can get some more traction coming through here, and then we can make this another big main call as well. So my name is Kenny Coleman. I am a technical product manager for Harbor over at VMware. As most people know, that most of the development team is based out of Beijing, China. So there was a call earlier this morning where the main team went over, and most of the maintainers themselves went over a lot of the features and a lot of this already. But we'll kind of rehash this and kind of talk about exactly what's going on. Just some updates on really where we are with 1.9 features, as well as some of the progresses there. Quick community update, not too much there. And then if we're ever so inclined, we can do the feature demos. If not, we can not. And then we'll just take some questions. So on 1.9, the quotas per project is mostly completed at this point. That was demoed this morning, and being able to see exactly how can you put not only just a quota on the amount of images that you want to have pushed into Harbor. And when I say amount, this can be both a container registry image as well as a Helm chart. So each one counts as a +1 in that regard. You also have the ability to do a quota by size. So you can say a particular repository or a particular project only has 500 megabytes or 100 gigabytes, whatever it is. It's up to the administrator to decide when that particular project is actually being created. So most of that work is in progress right now. By default, when a new project is created, it is set to unlimited and unlimited. The tag retention feature is complete. This was a project that was completed this morning, or that was shown and demoed this morning. What this allows you to do is to be able to kind of have a big manual cleanup of images inside of a particular repository. This is done because we all know how different images can have multiple tags and how they can be associated and how it can grow out of hand very, very quickly and very, very fast. And so the idea here is that if you want to have a particular image that is always maintained inside of a repository, or there is a particular version number that's always retained, what you can do is you can now set up an ability to do a task that will remove images or remove Helm charts in a repository that don't match a particular regular expression or a type of criteria that's being set. We can look at that a little bit later as well. Replication has also been improved. The Ali Cloud adapter is done now, so we can add that into one of the replication points along with AWS, Azure, GCE, Docker Hub, as well as any other Docker registry compatible container as well. The Helm Hub adapter is also done, and then the network proxy support is also in progress. The webhook support, being able to call different webhooks based on push, pull, and delete, is currently in code review. The whitelist in CVEs is currently done. This was shown on or should I say 2 weeks ago, on the last community update. Being able to show exactly what it looks like to actually whitelist a CVE. You have the ability to, after Claire does its initial scanning for an image after it's been pushed into the container registry, you're able to look inside of that particular tag, see what the vulnerabilities are for that image. And then if you want to set a certain threshold to say, we just don't want anything above high, but there are certain CVEs that are I guess listed as high, you can take those individual CVEs, put them into a whitelist range, and then now when you try to pull that particular image, you will no longer get an error, but instead it will go ahead and pull as normal. There's also the syslog endpoint for log shipping is complete, and then there are current performance tests that are being done with distribution and comparing it to what can be done to Docker Hub today. On the community update, right now there is just collection still happening for 1.10. So if there are individual stories or individual issues that you would like to see tackled in 1.10, we encourage you to please go ahead, put a thumbs up, make yourself known, comment on it, whatever it is, to make sure that it's being calculated and being prioritized for inclusion inside of 1.10. There's also a pluggable scanner, or should I say within inside the scanning working group. What this is, as I'd mentioned already, Claire is an integrated part of what Harbor is today. We've been talking to other third-party vendors such as Aqua and Twistlock that would like their particular products or projects to be able to be scanning or have some sort of vulnerability analyzation into the images that are contained within inside of Harbor. And so this is going to open up a third-party plugin system for Harbor for kind of a security standpoint. So now I can dive into the demos, or somebody can tell me if any topics that you'd like to discuss here. I'll kind of take it over to Gary and Amy if there's anything you'd like to know, or if you really want to see a demo, you tell me and I can do it for you.
It'd be cool to jump into a demo.
Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and do that for you real quick. Let me go ahead and stop this share, and then I will bring everything over here to the other page, or either screen. Because the screen that I usually use is a big old 32-inch monitor at 4K, and I don't think you'll be able to see it. Okay. All right, so with inside here, we're gonna kind of run through exactly what this looks like. So the first thing we wanna do is look at the feature for being able to do quotas. So with inside here, we have our projects. Let's create a new project. We're gonna call this, actually, let me go ahead and refresh this because I'm sure it's already had to sign out by now. Of course it did. So within here, coming to a new project, within here, I'm just gonna call it, we'll just call it Quota. So the one thing that we know that we want to be able to see right here is that by default it is set as to -1. That means it is unlimited. So if we wanna say, let's limit it to 3, and we'll say we wanna limit it to 200 megabytes, we can do that. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Coming into the Quota library now, we can see up here on the right-hand side underneath our project quotas exactly what this really does look like. If we come over to the Helm charts, we can go ahead and we can upload one to see what that looks like. So if we come here and we take Jenkins and we upload it, and we can come back to our summary, go ahead and refresh this. Oh, it's not actually showing anything for Helm charts. Let me go ahead and upload a, it says Project Helm right there, but let me go ahead and move the project repository and see if we can move one inside there. So my Docker images, I'm gonna go ahead and come over here and I'm gonna push a particular image. So I'm gonna go ahead and push the, we'll do, let's see, Golinks 270. We'll do Alpine first. So Alpine 3.7. I guess we do Alpine latest. So we'll just do Alpine latest since that'll be the easiest one to use. So we're going to tag it and then we're going to push it. Okay. Making this easier so I don't have to think about it. So we go ahead and refresh. So we have that. Coming to our summary now, we can see that we have an artifact count of 1 of 3, as well as storage consumption there as well. One of the things that's interesting about what you can do within here is looking at the, I'm not too sure if it has it in here for the individual tags that was shown in the one this morning. Let me see if I, oh yeah, okay, so we can do this. So if we come back over here and we come to this individual one right here, we can see that it's tagged as here. If we go to the, oops, let me come inside here. And so we can see that this is the tagged as the latest. We can actually re-tag it. We're gonna go ahead and put it in the same one. And then let's see if we can do that. Oh. And then we'll just say V1. So if we refresh it, we can see we have V1 here. And if we go into the repository as well for Quota, we can see that it's now up to V2. The only thing that didn't change was the actual storage consumption. So the blob in itself, since it's actually stays the same, it doesn't actually change. The storage consumption actually stays the same. However, you can see that the artifact count increases incrementally by 1. Now, if we try to upload an image that's going to be bigger than our allocated amount, we'll kind of look and see what that looks like right here. So Docker tag, and since we know that we only have a little bit left in here, so we'll do Golang, oops, Quota, Golang latest. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that. And tag this and push this. So what's going to happen here is that it's going to prepare, it's going to start uploading. However, it will never actually finish uploading. We should end up with a layer that is unable to be pushed and will try to continually restart itself. So it's not going to actually fail or anything like that right away. That's something that the team is going to look into. The problem that actually exists with that is that this is utilizing the Docker client. So it would require to see exactly if the Docker client can do anything within that regard. So just give it a few more seconds here. If it works, we have a problem. Okay, so there you go. So now it sees that it's actually retrying. We can come into our repository. We can see that it didn't actually get pushed or anything like that. And we can see that the storage consumption is actually over. However, it's going to continue to keep trying and repushing, but it will never actually get in there. So it's actually going over our maximum quota there. Let me go ahead and stop this real quick. Okay, so that's the quota demo. So you exactly see what that is if people need to use that. Next is looking at our tag retention policy that's available here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this one into here just so we have some more to talk about here. So tag test, oops, we need to actually tag it real quick. Okay. So the way that this one's actually set up, we don't have anything limiting it. So unlimited pieces coming through here. I'm also going to upload a few more Helm charts in here just so we can kind of see exactly what this all looks like as we actually go through and delete and stuff. So we know we've got 4 different Helm charts in here. We've got Cockroach, Jenkins, MySQL, and WordPress. Within over here, I'm going to go ahead and wait for this to get finished pushing. Mount it from Quota Golang. See if that doesn't mess up too bad. And then I'll also push Alpine as well. And I guess I'll also put my do not disturb on so nobody has to worry about seeing all my Slack messages. Okay, so we should be able to see our Golang image. And then I'm also going to tag and do Alpine, only because it's always fun to see more things get blown up. I'm going to push Alpine. This should go relatively quickly because it's already uploaded. Okay. So there we go. Now we've got 3 different container images in our repository. We've got 4 different Helm charts. So coming over to the tag retention policy, right now there's nothing that's created any rules. So let's go ahead and create our first rule. There was some discussion earlier this morning about really what this means by image count or number of days. And this is the drop down of what you see of what you can choose. There's going to be more discussion about how we can make this a little bit more clear of what these actually mean to the end user, because I think it's going to create some confusion with inside of an administrator's view. But just to kind of see exactly how all this works, what we want to do is we want to say always matching this particular image. And so we want to look inside of our repository. By repository, it also means our images as well as our charts. And we can say WordPress. And so we can sit there and say, here's if we want an individual tag, we can do that. But now we're just going to say every single one of them. Any labels that you have associated with it, you can do that too. So we can see exactly that what we're trying to do here is we're setting up a retention policy that all we want to keep are images or Helm charts that have WordPress. This is going to be more important if you have a particular image that you utilize as your conditional standard. Say it's Golang version X dot whatever, you can set that as your retention rule. So if anybody goes and tries to upload or keep updating individual or their own tags and keeps retagging things, this will automatically be sort of a cleanup process for you, and it'll also do online garbage collection for you as well. So with inside here, what we can do is we want to do a dry run. Our dry run is exactly what you think. What's going to happen if we do run this? So you can see it's currently in progress. We'll refresh it. Still in progress. Still in progress. I think it's done, but we'll go ahead and we'll try to take a look. Okay, so it says, oh, it's still running on the WordPress one. That's why. So we'll give it just a second. But one thing that we can see is if we start coming through here is that we can look at the log and we go to, say, the Cockroach DB, we can see what's going to happen here within inside the retention is that it would run a delete scan onto it. If we were to come over here and run it against this WordPress one, we can see that it's going to retain with inside the log. So let me go ahead and refresh this once again. No. I'm assuming it's finished, but it still says in progress. So let's go ahead, let's run it and see what happens. We're going to have this dialog box that comes up. This is going to make sure that you actually do want to run this and you kind of understand what's going to happen as well. So we go ahead, click it. We can see that the dry run is set to no. And we can see that it's already finished, it's succeeded. We can come over here, we can look at the individual logs. We can see that right now, the WordPress retained. And if we go back to our individual repository here, we can see that all of the other images now are gone. Same with inside of the Helm chart. And all we have is our WordPress repository and our WordPress Helm chart that is remaining. So that is the tag retention policy. Any other questions?
Nope, not for me.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. If there's anything else that you have to bring up in regards of features or regards of the community updates, anything like that, speak now, or we can go ahead and kind of end the meeting.
I think we're good to go. Thank you.
All right. I think so too. All right. Well, Amy and Gary, thank you so much again for hopping on, and have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank you.